The Siyata Dishmaya, with the help of HaShem. We spoke about yesterday that the first test that the Jewish people, after the splitting of the Red Sea, they didn't have water, and when they had water, the water's bitterness water, Mayim Marim. And it says, Sam Shom Som Lechoku Mishmo Shom Niso. There he gave them rules and judgment, and he gave them a test, and the Ramban explains that the rules and judgment was not bepashas like Chazal, Shabbos for Adum and Dinim. It wasn't the main thing, which is true, but it wasn't the main point. The main point that he taught him judgment, rules and judgments are between people, honoring your wife, peace with one another, business, etc. And don't act like pirates, etc. And he trained him to become proper. And then what happens? Vayomer Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, if you're going to listen to the voice of Hashem your God, what straight in his eyes you will do, you're going to listen to his commandments, and you guard all his rules, all the sickness, Asher Sadim Mitzrayim put in Egypt, Lo asim alech, I won't put on you. Kani Hashem was I'm the one that I healed you. So from this story, we learn that if you listen to Hashem, Hashem will heal you. Where? So let's see what it says. Moshe Rabbeinu shouted to Hashem, Vayitzek al Hashem, Vayoreyu Hashem eitz. What does the word Vayoreyu mean?
That was after or before?
What do you mean? Before the next?
Vayoreyu Shoma, when he said that?
In the pasuk?
No, that was the words that he said in the Morah.
Yes, in the Morah, sure.
No, because he brings...
In the Morah.
No, the Mechilta, he brings the Mechilta here.
It's in the Morah. Rashi says it was in the Morah.
No, these took him.
Yes, it was all in the Morah.
Right,
and now we want to know how we learned this from what happened here. So let's see, what does it mean, Vayorei Hashem eitz. So there's a couple of perushim, I want to explain the Ramban's perush. The Ramban brings a couple of perushim. What is the word Vayorei? So the Ramban says, the word Vayorei means he showed him. Vayorei means hero, he showed him. Laharot, to show. And he showed them the wood. He says, this wood take. And when you're going to throw this wood to the water will turn to sweet water. But the Ramban says, I never found all over the Torah the word Vayoireyu, Loshon Yoire, Yore, Yodin, Yodin. Yoire means to teach. I never found the word Vayoireyu language, Laharot, to show. There's always a language of learning. I never found that the word Vayoire means showing, rather teachings. I want to say a new pshat. That the simple means Vayoire doesn't mean showed him, rather he taught him. He taught him AIDS. What is to teach? Vayoire AIDS. He taught him what kind of teachings there is by teaching him a wood. Teaching wood. Vayoreyu eitz, he taught him wood. What does it taught him wood? What teaching he had that he taught him wood? Al derech hapshat, the Ramban says. Ki ha'eitz hahu yamtik amayim b'tivo. Hashem taught him, people go to school, they go to Chinese school, and they learn herbs. You know those herbs? This herb heals this herb. Hashem taught Moshe Rabbeinu to become a herbal life.
Chinese medicine? That's what
Rashi says. That's what Ramban says.
We have to go out of Egypt and go.
He taught him. He taught him that this wood, as in it a nature, that can sweeten the water in its nature.
First, you got to spend 6 months in China with the doctor.
Right.
You got to spend 6 months
For who?
in the hospital.
Right, for whose school boy has a special school, a special powers in this wood that can turn bitterness water to sweet. V'limed oisala Moshe. That's what he taught Moshe. He taught him this herb, this wood. He didn't show him the wood. Vayareh was not to show. Vayareh was teaching. So the Ramban says, what kind of teaching it was? The Ramban says, you know what the teaching? The teaching was, he taught him that this herb, this wood, has a segula, has a special powers that can turn bitterness water to sweet water. And that was the teachings. The Rabboseinu Omru, our rabbis taught us, She'oyo eit smag. The wood was a bitterness wood. The wood is not a wood that turns bitterness to sweet. Adarabah. The water was bitterness, he threw more bitterness in it. He threw a wood which is bitterness wood. Shuleit was a bitterness wood. It's a miracle within a miracle. How do I turn bitterness water? By throwing more bitterness and it will turn to sweet. It's a miracle within a miracle. So again, we have here two pshatim. The pshat apostle, the Ramban says, he taught him a herbal teachings. He took him to a school of herbs, and he taught him a herb power. This is the power of this herb. That this wood, Vayoreyu ate, he taught him, and this wood can turn sweet, bitterness to sweet. By teva, by nature. But the rabbis don't know. Vayoreyu ate, he took a wood which is bitterness, and he threw it to bitterness water. It's a miracle within a miracle that bitterness will turn another bitterness to sweet. Keinya, like the subject, when Elisha came to Jericho, and the fountain of the water was bitterness and salty. What Elisha did, he took salt, he threw into the salt spring, and it turned the salt spring to sweet. So it's a nest within a nest. So the question is, what kind of teaching is it? Why need a teaching? If it's a herb that has a power to make bitterness as sweet, so it's a teaching. He taught him the power of the herb. But if he took a bitterness wood and he threw it into the nest, what kind of teachings? What does it mean he taught him? It was a desert. No wood, no trees. HaShem had to show him where there's a tree. And although that tree was a bitterness tree, he taught him where to find this bitterness tree. And he wanted to show a miracle within a miracle. Hashem showed them, the teaching is, he taught him where is it, like a navigation. He taught him how to navigate and to find this bitterness wood. Or another way, what kind of teachings? Shintzio elo benes. He brought it to him with the miracles. Where's the teaching? Needs explanation, teachings. Now the Ramban says, I found a medrash. Shu motzosi beyilamdeinu. I found in a medrash called Yelamdeinu. This is the language of what it says in the medrash. Medrash Chuma. Look what it says there. Vayoreyu Hashem ate. It says Hashem taught him wood. Vayareyu lo ne'emar. It doesn't say he showed him. It says rather he taught him. So you see the diuk of the Ramban. He says I found that the Medrash had this diuk. It doesn't say showed him. Vayareyu, he showed him. It says Vayoreyu, he taught him. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Vayoreyu, ela vayareyu, orohu dako. He showed him his ways. Which ways? or the way of the herd, or the way to find the herd. Kloima. And this is the punchline. Kloima. Comes the Ramban and he says, if Hashem brought him as a miracle, he brought him to him as a miracle, or he navigated him. So the teaching is not the navigation or the finding it he found in the way of a miracle. You know what's the teaching? He taught him an understanding in Hashem's ways. And when Hashem makes miracles, he taught him the ways of Hashem, the midah, the character of Hashem. When Hashem performs miracles, there's a way, there's a format how Hashem performs miracles. What format? Shoyrohu velimdoi, he taught him, he directed him and he taught him the ways of Hashem. The what? Shumamtik amar bemar. Hashem sweetens the bitterness with another bitterness. What does that mean? What kind of teaching is that? We see by Elisha when the spring was salted, he threw salt into the spring, salted spring, and he turned the salt to sweet. What kind of thing is that? What is it teaching? What the Ramban is saying? The Ramban is saying something very important. Hashem taught Moshe Rabbeinu the midah of Hashem. When Hashem performs the miracles, he relates to man. And he wants to perform a miracle. That's what we spoke last week. He doesn't do just a miracle, an open miracle. As we saw, Hashem brought the arbe. Hashem could say, 1, 2, 3, abacadabra, boom. The whole Mitzrayim is filled with arbe. What Hashem did? Hashem brought a wind. And all night long, wind. And the wind brought the arbe. And when Hashem wanted to take away the arbe, Hashem brought the arbe, the wind, and took it away. That just brought it in and disappeared. He used nature to bring it. Same thing as Kias Yamsuf. Hashem wanted to split the Red Sea. What Hashem did? The whole night was very strong eastern wind. And the wind split, even though the whole world split, the water all around the world, so really it's a miracle. But Hashem did it in a way that he used nature, as we explained last week, or the beginning of the week, is in order to give a person a space to deny. Even though it's stupid, it's crazy. It's not a miracle, it's a wind. A wind. So why everywhere split and why wind here, not there? And I said it would happen, and exactly when I hit, it started. It's crazy. Whether you saw a wind that split waters, yes, what do you want to say?
אבל איזה פשט של הווין, למה האנשים לא פליי? אם זה ווין חזק, אפילו פשט, איך יכול להיות?
No, it's wind. It's a wind enough for arbe. Arbe is very light. Grasshopper is very light, so people probably was strong wind, but arbe flew, not human beings. Maybe rooftops flew, who knows? I don't know. It's a strong wind, but not enough to fly people. But anyhow, what's important is the message. What kind of teachings Hashem taught Moshe Rabbeinu? Hashem taught Moshe Rabbeinu that his ways, the way he makes miracles, he uses a physical thing. What is he doing? He's using a bitterness wood to turn the bitterness. It means people say, oh, you know how I turn, how Moshe Rabbeinu turned the bitterness water to sweet. So one way is he used a herbal, nature. But if he says the miracle, he did it with something. He didn't say, abacadabra, boom, the water turns from bitterness to sweet. He didn't do that. He had to throw a wood, an ace, but with something with something physical, that people can depend the miracle on the physical. This is the way of Hashem. Hashem, when he does miracles, he doesn't take the bechira total, full away. He leaves it, even though it's crazy, and you see it's a miracle, but he leaves it in a way that's the darko shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu. Vayoreh Hashem eitz. What?
So we had this already with the 10 markers and the Yamsuf. We had
Yeah,
so
but that maybe, but we don't know it's darko Hashem. Here Hashem told Vayoreh Yoetz that this is a derech. This is not only happens to be that he did such a way. This is the way of Hashem. Darko limdo, he taught him. This is the way of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shu mamti kamamamar, he sweetened the bitterness and the bitterness. That's one way to learn. Or physical. When a person has a bitterness life, there's such a thing called mamti kesadinim. You sweeten the judgment. In Kabbalistic terms, what do? You go to the roots. According to Kabbalah, people are davening with kavanot, right? People are davening with kavanot. What do? You don't change the dinim terachamim. That's in your Rosh Hashanah. You change a chair. You go to the root. You go to the shoyresh adinim, to the root of the judgment, and he sweetened the root of the judgment and the roots. That's what it is. You change mar b'mar. You sweeten the bitterness with bitterness. You don't change it from bitterness to sweetness. You take another bitterness, when you go to the roots of the bitterness, l'shoyresh adinim, and you change the dinim from the shoyresh. You sweeten the dinim from the shoyresh. It's a very big concept in Kabbalah, but could be that's what the Ramban means, that's what he taught him. He taught him this is the way of Hashem, the way Hashem created the world. That's his attribute, yes.
The Kli Yoko explains, the Senka explains, he says not the soil is mar, he says, teach you not me'arach HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shelo yaruach hamitzvah zu.
Right. Not to me'arach. It means to say, accept it. This is Hashem's ways. So then this way I'm attacking. One against one.
Okay. But this is the message. The message is,
What's the connection to this and the Torah that we were taught over there? There has to be some connections. It's the same person. There's no connection.
that's what it is. That's what we want to say. 1 second. So Hashem said, listen, if you listen to my voice and you go and you be straight in my eyes, you listen to my mitzvahs and you guard my rules, all the sickness that I brought on Mitzrayim, that I put in Mitzrayim, I wouldn't put on you because I'm your healer. So Hashem is teaching us how Hashem will heal the sicknesses that people have. What is the method? What is the derech? Vayoreyu eitz. It's not stam. Hashem told him, he gave him a test, and he healed the water. Hashem continues on. He says, listen, you learn from this. That when all the sickness that I put on Mitzrayim, I won't upon him because I'm your healer. He tells you in what way I'm healing you. I'm healing you mar b'mar. I'm healing you bitterness with bitterness. This is the need of Hashem. This is the way Hashem does. Get us out of Egypt. Hashem says, I'll get you out. What he does, Paroi, but from the time Moshe Rabbeinu came, even stronger. They beat him up stronger. It says, what, from the time he came, it's stronger. No. It means the whole goal of this bitterness, of this affliction, is to do tshuva. Before I'm giving you a shoe, I want to make sure that you're 100% bending. See, how do he helps you? Make sure that you really know Hashem is doing it. Oh, it's even stronger. So instead of screaming, they should have said no. And there's a new test that Hashem is giving us. And we pass this test, that will be Hashem bringing us our Yeshua quicker, bringing another test stronger, another bitterness. And that other bitterness will make sure that we win and we have the proper nisoin, we stand in nisoin, and that will bring us the salvation. Yes?
It's like the
concept sin crouches at the door. You know the concept sin crouches at the door, just as Hashem's about to reward you, like the Son of Shem comes.
That's the idea. So why is it? Why? Because Hashem, the whole goal, you had problem is to bend to Hashem. Now you want the Yeshua to come quickly, so Hashem brings quickly another stronger test to finish up this test for you quicker by being you stronger. I just finish a test and you get out of it. That's the idea. He taught him, Shami taught him how he heals us and how we get rid of our afflictions.
Yes. You see here, Machlekes Ramban and Rashi.
Yes.
The quote that Rashi was a complaint by Ilonu.
Yes.
But the Ramban says before, it's not complaint. He says, "Velo derech tluno." He says here.
Where?
In the Rambam, when you read, "Oit yasrom b'derech hukam," you should beginning. Velo derech tluno. Not like the Rashi. Quote the Rashi by Ilonu was a derech tluno. But quote the Ramban is not. Derech adi berech hapshat. You see, you read the pshat.
Yes.
He says, "V'yasrem b'chukam amidbo." This is
yesterday. This is something else.
But
That's a previous verse. I'm not talking about that.
There's a second.
I'm talking about Vayoreyu. what he taught him. Vayoreyu Hashem
No,
eitz.
but then it was not that.
So there's a lot of machlekes. The whole point is I'm talking about now. This specific thing. It's nothing to do with us.
No, you said was it in the end.
In the end, Hashem taught him eitz. What he taught him, and he taught him how he heals. What's the meat of Hashem heals us?
They complain or not complain with the Ramban.
That's a different story.
They didn't complain.
Okay, good. That's a different story. That's not our subject here. That what teaching Hashem is teaching us. Hashem is teaching us how Hashem heals us mar b'mar.
Now the question is the same thing. Midas basar v'dom to Rabbi.
No, it's us to Hashem. Only Hashem.
also belongs to the Chaver.
La maman